The universal ingredients in music scheduling. Categories have always been there for, the easy reason for categories was usually connected to chronology. And what I call the pyramid effect, categories, the different names of categories, usually are newer at the top of the pyramid and then older as you get to the bottom of the pyramid. And think about the newest songs that are the big hit songs at the top of the pyramid have to be, it's a smaller category, so you have those things rotate around a little faster. And then as you go down the pyramid, you get to the different ages of music. Clocks. I mean, global structure, each hour has 60 minutes. No matter what we do, that's not going to change. You're going to need clocks. And clocks help you select songs, jingles, commercials, DJ chat. Clocks are a reality to music scheduling. Codes. You know, I didn't say this, but I didn't put this on the slide, but these are the 3 C's. Rules, goals, and restrictions. By the way, these terms that I'm using, many of these terms are part of the lexicon of music scheduling, no matter what program you use. The value of using software to schedule, perfect rotations, which I think is pretty funny. Yeah, perfect to whom, right? Where is that? Creating a consistent sound no matter what DJ is on. I think this is one of the biggest challenges. I know when I go around the country, I'll occasionally listen to some of the college stations. You know, whatever DJ is on the air, that's what determines the sound of the radio station. The radio station doesn't usually have a total brand. And that's probably good in college because everybody should express themselves. Don't let the dean hear that. History. A computer is smart. A computer can remember things. I mean, we're human beings. I mean, I hate to break it to you, but you can't remember what happened like yesterday at lunch. The concept of letting what came before determine what happens next, I think that's an important concept for a radio station because it is a linear progression. And you'll hear the word spreading or spread. This concept is using rules and goals to spread artists and songs so that the station sounds interesting. The concept of radio is actually very logical. It's a very logical form. I mean, think of Frank Conrad. I got the transmitter, I got the little microphone, and he's going to roll in his Victrola to play music on the air. It's pretty simple. The importance of the category. Now let's go through each of the C's. Equal play for equal songs. That's what I'm saying. And if you're like me, the mathematical realities is that you have a song is an atomic element, and you want to be able to rotate it. And the category helps you do that. Without a category, you just have a big box of songs that you sort of just reach in and play something. And then when they're all out, you put them all back in. There is a mathematical concept of where the next guy puts all the songs back into the box because you didn't play them all and ends up playing the same songs again. The stack, this is another term that was invented by Selector, our company, 33 years ago or whatever it is, 30, whatever it is. The concept is like a stack from the front to the back. Each category has its own stack. Then the interaction between categories. I like to say that they're like players on a team wanting to play. Well, they all want playing time on the field, and you're the coach. And you've got to figure out how much playing time you're going to put. The importance of the clock. There's practical radio realities about a clock. The first thing is rating hours. Because of all the rating services generally deal with, they take the atomic concept of an hour, and they take the concept of a day part, and then they take the concept of you have shifts that people have to work, and then the rating companies take the hours and break them into quarter hours, and now with the electronic measurement, they're going to break them into minutes. If you think in terms of an hour, you're at least putting yourself in a position where if somebody's working 4 hours, you're going to be programming the music for that shift or those 4 hours of the person's life. Rotating structure. The concept of being able to use the rotation rules of rotating through hours, like we talked about before with the little card. I'm going to play everything in every hour of the day before I go back and play it in the same hour again. People are pretty habit, routine oriented, and especially during the week, Monday to Friday. So the concept of somebody always listening when they get in the car to go to work at 5 minutes before 8 o'clock, and then they get to work at a certain time. That's their reality of morning drive. And with that concept, you're going to be able to maybe change it up in that hour or that quarter hour every day, and then applying those hours to the next day. Timing for networks. I mean, a lot of radio stations now have some sort of relationship, or they have some sort of intervention that takes place with the network, where local programming gives way to the network. So we call them ETMs. It's pretty much an automation terminology, but the exact time marker, it's hard for you to sort of cipher that, to say that if I start the song at a certain time in the hour, and I know that by this exact time in the hour, I've got to be done with all of this so that I can go into the network on time without doing shoddy programming like just fading a song in the middle. Or the importance of code, the code. Classifications. You have to be able to label something. Something has to have the label before you can control it by some attribute. You've got to be able to say this is this before you can say this shouldn't play next to that. So you've got to get your thises and that's together, and that's part of what codes are all about. It's pretty logical, actually. Ingredients. Well, they're poetic here, but it helps you mix variations so that the final dish is pleasing to the target audience. There has to be the knowledge that there's a chef behind this. So far you're the coach and you're the chef. We'll just keep going with these metaphors. Mood orientation. There's a lot of future stuff in mood orientation, because everything in life is a linear progression. Today, then tomorrow, then tomorrow. We're all thinking that way. Conclusion. First of all, you want to do this, you want to be in radio, you want to be a programmer, start with a passion for the music format. Don't do it unless you get the passion for it. Focus on one kind of genre, because that's what we've become as Americans. We go to certain channels for certain things. We want a certain concept. If your channel is we play everything, then that's a channel. That's a genre. You created a genre. Find the differences within the format. What I mean by that is, even if you're playing the hardest heavy metal music, there are people, the Tool people and the Korn people are two different peoples, as they always are. And so you need to know the difference, because you need to figure out that the next song has to be great. And that's the only way you're going to determine that, is to determine the differences and the appeal of different kinds of music. Imagine the ultimate transition from song to song. I don't care what anybody says, still one of the most beautiful things about radio, and I always say this, the true definition of radio is the segue. Whether it's a jingle into a song or a song into a song, that's radio. And all the players have never been able to do good segues. And our automation system does good segues. And physically, when I say a good segue, physically having the one song lay over the other song is a segue. And then the concept is, what are those two songs? And do they clash with each other, or do they create a wonderful experience? No one should hear a clock, they should hear a flow. If you hear a clock on your radio station, there's a problem. You're not programming an emotion. Make sure your rules and your goals and priorities and attributes make sense. There's the bean counter mentality that some people get into. There's the negative judgmentals and the analytics, and some people are so analytical, they're like, okay, we've classified this song is the Tool song that they wrote, right after the plane crash. Dude, nobody cares about that. You come up with something that makes sense here. Also, use a computer and state-of-the-art software to make your radio station great. There are some programs out on the market you can get, like download, freeware, or whatever, that are really pretty bad. Again, everything has a science. Everything has that, what's the best possible science for this job that you're doing. The concept is, make sure you have the right software. Thank you very much.